"Excuse me, I'm here for the board meeting on the 9th floor." The woman at the front desk barely looked up from her phone. "Sir, this is a private building. You need to leave." "I have every right to be here," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "My name is Daniel Carter, and I'm—" Before I could finish, she spoke into her headset. "Security, we have a situation." Within seconds, 2 massive guards were on me. One of them grabbed my arm, his fingers digging into my bicep. "Let's go, buddy. Out now." I winced. "Wait, there's been a mistake. I'm a shareholder." "A shareholder." The head of security laughed right in my face. A cruel, mocking sound that echoed in the marble lobby. "Man, look at yourself. You smell like a hospital. Those shoes have holes in them. You think we're stupid?" My old clothes, a necessity from my months of chemotherapy, suddenly felt like a costume of shame. People started gathering around, their expensive suits a stark contrast to my worn-out hoodie. Phones came out. Little black rectangles pointed at me like weapons. I heard someone shout, "World Star," and saw the red light of a recording start. My humiliation was about to go viral. A young guy in a tailored suit whispered to his friend, loud enough for me to hear, "Can you believe this? Some homeless guy trying to crash a corporate meeting?" They both snickered, their laughter like little daggers. And then, she appeared. Rebecca Langford, the woman I had handpicked, the one I depromoted to CEO 3 years ago when I had to step down for cancer treatment. She walked across that polished marble floor, the clicks of her $1,000 heels announcing her arrival. She looked me up and down, her eyes as cold as the stone beneath her feet. And then she said the words I will never, ever forget. "Remove this man immediately, and if he comes back, call the police. We don't need his kind contaminating our workspace." Her kind, my kind. The irony was suffocating. I built this company from a garage with $200 and a dream. 40% of the shares still carried my name, and she, the woman living in the corporate kingdom I built, didn't even recognize her king. The crowd grew bigger, more phones, more laughing. Someone was live streaming it with the caption, "Crazy homeless man thinks he owns the place." In that entire lobby, full of people whose salaries I indirectly paid, nobody defended me. Nobody even looked at me with a shred of decency. Nobody, except for one person. "Stop." A young woman's voice, clear and sharp, cut through the noise. She pushed through the wall of onlookers. "Y'all need to stop this right now." She was barely 5 feet tall, couldn't have been more than 24, wearing a simple, slightly wrinkled blouse and an intern badge that read Lena. Rebecca's perfectly sculpted eyebrows shot up. "Lena, stay out of this," she snapped, "unless you want to be unemployed by lunchtime." But Lena ignored her. She walked right up to me, her expression full of genuine concern. "Sir, are you okay? Did they hurt you?" Her eyes were kind, real. She saw a person, not a problem. "I'm fine," I managed to say quietly. "Thank you." The simple act of her kindness felt like a life raft in an ocean of contempt. Rebecca's face turned a shade of crimson that clashed with her designer dress. "Lena Brooks, you're fired. Effective immediately." "Security, escort them both out." But Lena didn't move. She stood her ground next to me. Her hand was shaking a little, but her voice was steady. "Ma'am, with all due respect, this is wrong. You're treating him like he's nobody." "He is nobody," Rebecca spat, her voice dripping with venom. That was it. That was the moment. I slowly reached into the pocket of my old worn-out hoodie and pulled out my phone. I made one call. 30 seconds. That's all it took. Then, I reached into my other pocket and pulled out a sealed envelope. Inside was a single piece of paper I had written that very morning, anticipating something. I carefully folded it and handed it to the young intern, "Lena, hold on to this. You're going to need it in about 5 minutes." She looked completely confused, but she took it, her fingers brushing against mine. Rebecca rolled her eyes, a picture of pure arrogance. "Is this some kind of joke? What's in that envelope?" "Your pink slip." I smiled for the first time all day. It was a weak smile, but it was real. "Something like that?" I said. Just as I spoke, the main elevator doors dinged open. 2 men in sharp, familiar suits stepped out, their faces a mixture of panic and confusion. They were my lawyers. They rushed over, their eyes wide as they took in the scene. "Mr. Carter, we got your message. Are you all right?" The entire lobby went silent. You could have heard a pin drop on the marble floor. Rebecca's jaw literally dropped. The phones that were recording me slowly lowered. The head of security who had laughed in my face now looked like he'd seen a ghost. His face went pale, and his grip on my arm vanished. Rebecca stammered, "Daniel, is that really you?" I just looked at her, letting the silence hang in the air. The man she had called nobody was the very foundation she was standing on. I turned to Lena, the only one who had shown me any humanity. "Open the envelope," I said gently. She fumbled with it, her hands still shaking. She tore it open and read the single line I had written. Her eyes went wide, and she looked from the paper to me, then back to the paper. "What was on that paper, you ask?" "It wasn't a pink slip, it was a promotion." It said, "Effective immediately. Lena Brooks is appointed Vice President of Operations. First task, fire the CEO." Rebecca read it over Lena's shoulder, and the color drained completely from her face. She started to sputter, to apologize, to make excuses, but it was too late. The homeless man she had just tried to throw out was about to clean house, and the intern she fired was about to become her boss. If you want to see more stories where kindness wins and arrogance gets what it deserves, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.